And it has been nearly 24 hours since anyone has seen 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham. Take a good look at your screen right now. She was last seen wearing a black hoodie with white lettering and black pants on Lakeside Drive in Livingston. She also had a camo backpack. If you have seen Audrii or know where she is, please call the Polk County Sheriff's Office.
So my name is Lieutenant Craig Cummings. I'm a spokesperson for the Texas Department of Public Safety. This afternoon here at the request of the Polk County Sheriff. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to be at this press conference, but he remains actively engaged in this investigation and helping bring this little girl home. So I want to update the media and the community about what we've got thus far. So around 5:30 p.m. yesterday, the family reported Audrii missing when she didn't get off the bus. Investigators learned that she didn't get on the bus yesterday morning, further prompting concerns. So they reached out to the family reached out to the Polk County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff's Office contacted the Texas Department of Public Safety, and an Amber Alert was issued soon after it was requested yesterday. Investigators are actively speaking with persons of interest in this particular case. They are asking for any information that can help find her. And that information can be submitted by calling the Polk County Sheriff's Office, be submitted through our iWatch Texas app, or if it's an emergency nature, calling 911. At this point, no tip is too small. So if you've got information that you think could be helpful, we're absolutely asking you to help. Investigators also are actively following leads in this case as well. They're also working with Crime Stoppers so that they can try to get an award put together. The FBI is also assisting in this investigation, as they do with several Amber Alerts. Our Texas Rangers are here assisting with the investigation, along with the Polk County Sheriff's Office, San Jacinto County Sheriff's Office. This is really an all-hands-on-deck case.
What led investigators here today?
We're actively following leads. And so that's exactly what we're doing here now. We've got boats that are in the water, and we've also got dogs that are down there as well. Our hope is that with all the equipment that we're bringing in here, that we can bring her home safely.
Who are some of the people of interest?
Right now we're not getting into that. This is still a very active and fluid investigation, and so investigators are actively involved in getting information that will help bring Audrii home.
Sir, the word on the street is that brings you to this place?
What's that?
Have you found physical evidence that this location is bringing you here?
At this point, we can say investigators are actively following leads, but we can't go any farther than that at this point. We're trying to protect the integrity of the investigation as most we can. The priority right now is bringing Audrii home.
Is the lead strong enough for you all to be here for several hours? We've seen a dog giving some item to sniff, and that dog immediately took off. Can you kind of share what you all have seen here to keep you here for several hours?
Yeah, so there are several different pieces of information that we are looking at. To say how long we're going to be here really is difficult to say at this point. I know that we are going to continue this investigation, be here for as long as we need to do until we have exhausted all the leads that we have uncovered here.
Is this the only location you all are actively searching?
This investigation remains ongoing, and so there are a lot of different things at play right now, but I can definitely say investigators are here concentrated in this area following those leads.
So Audrii has not been found?
No.
The initial info said they believe she would be in great danger. Can you guys kind of explain why that might be the case?
We don't want to go any farther than what we've gone thus far. We want to protect the integrity of that investigation, but that's the reason why we're asking for the public to send information in that they think could be relevant in helping get Audrii home safely to her family.
Obviously, we know you don't want to go into details of the investigation, but the neighbors, folks who have been out here searching since last night, started speculating about someone might have taken her last seen, possibly seen in a vehicle with someone yesterday, 6:30 before that 7 o'clock bus pickup. Is there anything you can say on that matter that's kind of been spreading around the community?
I know there's a lot of information that's out on social media about this. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to go into that. That's the role of our investigators right now, and I can tell you that they all have their heart and soul into bringing Audrii home right now, and I want to protect the efforts that they're doing right now to solve this case.
Are there any persons of interest in custody right now?
No. At this point, we're not. We know we've got active leads that we are following, and certainly a person of interest, but that's as far as we'll go on that.
8 persons or 1 person of interest?
Well, persons of interest.
Did the family give any information as to why the kid didn't get on the bus?
No. And they may have. I'm not aware of that. And so but I can tell you it was a concern for the family that she did not get on the bus. It was unexpected. And that's the reason why when she didn't get off the bus and investigators family learned that she didn't get on, it increased the concern.
Have you spoken with the father?
Investigators have done that, and they continue to be involved with the family as well.
What I understand about the community is the school specifically, if a student doesn't arrive at school, a notification is sent to the parents. Are you aware if a notification was ever sent to a parent that Audrii never made it to school yesterday?
That would be a question for the school district. I don't want to speculate on what they may have done, but I would definitely reach out to them for information. I got about time for 2 more questions.
I assume the family has been cooperative with the investigation?
Yes. Yeah, the family's been very cooperative. Everybody here, the entire community out here has been nothing but cooperative and helpful. And so I know our prayers collectively are that we bring Audrii home soon.
Do you believe this is an isolated case, or is there an ongoing threat to the community?
No, we don't believe there's an ongoing threat to the community at this point. Our focus right now is on Audrii and bringing her safely home to her family.
What's the condition of the
That's all I've got, but I appreciate it, y'all. Thank you.
This hour, investigators ending their search for the day for 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham. Officials giving that update just 20 minutes ago.
The family of the girl says she went missing about 5:30 last night. We're talking about up in Polk County. Investigators say they will be back at Lake Livingston, where they've been searching today, as soon as the sun comes up tomorrow. Our reporter Stephen Goen has been on the scene since this morning with the latest right now. Stephen.
Just moments ago, the Texas Department of Public Safety telling us this is a continued area of interest in the search for Audrii Cunningham. They say they're still actively following leads, and that is what brought them here to this section of Lake Livingston near the dam. Now, we saw a large law enforcement presence here earlier in the day for hours and hours. Officials telling us that Audrii was reported missing last night when she did not get off the school bus, but it turns out she never got on the bus in the morning. Investigators have not characterized this as an abduction. They only say Audrii is missing. Now, officials tell us the search is winding down for today, and they are not searching tonight, but law enforcement will be back here at daybreak at this continued place of interest. Take a listen.
This is a location of interest, and so that's the reason why we've got the effort. That's why we have the dogs here. That's the reason why the boats have been here. All of this in an effort to find Audrii.
Now here's a picture of Audrii that we got from the Polk County Sheriff's Office. She is described as approximately 4'1" with blonde hair and blue eyes. She was last seen wearing black pants, a black hoodie, and a Hello Kitty backpack. Now Audrii's last known location is just a short drive away from here, but they are still searching in many different places for her. Of course, here at this continued place of interest, we are told anyone with information or any tips are encouraged to call the Polk County Sheriff's Office. We're going to watch this search wind down tonight here at the dam. For now, at Lake Livingston, Stephen Goen, back to you.
And breaking tonight, we are hearing from the mother of a missing 11-year-old girl in Polk County.
Audrii Cunningham vanished on the way to school Thursday morning. It triggered an Amber Alert and a major search involving local, state, and federal authorities. Authorities
spent the day looking in an area around Lake Livingston up in Polk County.
Matt Doherty is live tonight at the Polk County Sheriff's Office. Matt, what do we know right now?
Well, enemy authorities will resume their search first thing tomorrow morning. It was halted earlier tonight once it got dark. However, this is still a very active investigation.
David, this is the stuff that you see on TV, and you wonder, you can only imagine what the family and the parents are going through, and there's not words for it.
Through tears, Cassie Matthews, the mother of 11-year-old Audrii, pleaded for help finding her missing daughter tonight.
She was allegedly dropped off at her bus stop, and later on we come to learn that she never even made it on the bus.
Just hours before, investigators were playing things close to the vest, letting on that they know more than they're willing to tell the public right now.
And I can understand the public's concern that we're not giving out a lot of information, but the end here is to find Audrii and bring her home.
They haven't said if they've found any sort of evidence in the area they spent searching Friday night near Lake Livingston. And despite the rumors in this small town, they won't say if there is a suspect connected to the girl's disappearance. Audrii's mother says her daughter was living with her father, who has custody, as well as her grandmother and another man. Family members tell us that other man would drive Audrii to the bus stop each morning before school. No one at the family's home would speak with us tonight. Meanwhile, Cassie Matthews says she's devastated.
You feel it's a roller coaster. You're broken. You're mad. You're lost. You're empty. And right now, I am empty. And I'm not gonna be the same unless my baby is returned to me. And neither is her family, anyone in her family, any of us.
Authorities say that they are speaking to persons of interest tonight. If you have any information on Audrii's disappearance, you're asked to give them a call right away. Back to you.
Hopeful for her safe return. Matt Doherty, thank you.
11-year-old Audrii Cunningham is still missing. The massive search to find her continues this morning near Lake Livingston. New this morning, officials have released an image of a vehicle of interest. Katira Winfrey is live in Polk County with the newest details. Katira, what have you learned out there this morning?
Well, Cheryl, the search area here near Bower Marina is starting to fill up. EquiSearch is here along with several other law enforcement agencies, all desperate to find this little girl. And now this morning, we've officially reached past 48 hours since that little girl has gone missing. Now, here's a look at a vehicle of interest. It's a 2003 dark blue Chevy Suburban. Officials believe it's some way connected to the missing girl. Now, this morning, search areas is looking really similar to what we saw yesterday as crews looked for clues. Officials say Audrii went missing on her way to school. Family later learned she never got on the bus or made it to school. And so far, investigators call the search location an area of interest, and that's what led them here. KHOU spoke to Audrii's mom here to hear what she had to say.
She has so many opportunities ahead of her, and she deserves every right to be able to reach those opportunities. She should be at home where we know she's safe and she's warm and she's fed, and she should be with her little brother. She should be doing what Audrii does, you know, smiling, laughing, making everybody else smile and laugh.
And the mother said Audrii lives with her dad, her grandmother, and another man, and says that that man allegedly dropped her off at the bus stop Thursday morning. However, investigators so far haven't given any suspect information, but we'll update you throughout the day as we learn more. For now, reporting live in Polk County, Katira Winfrey, KHOU 11 News.
Absolutely heartbreaking to hear the concern in that mother's voice. Thank you so much, Katira.
Good afternoon. I appreciate your patience and everybody coming here today. My name is Lieutenant Craig Cummings, CRAIG CUMMINGS, a spokesperson with Texas Department of Public Safety, and today we're here to provide updates on the search for Audrii Cunningham, the 11-year-old who went missing on Thursday. I'm here joined by the Polk County District Attorney Shelley Sitton, as well as members of the Polk County Sheriff's Office, Lieutenant Craig Finnegan, and I also want to make the mention that we have countless investigators and analysts that are out here assisting as well in multiple locations throughout the county and throughout the area looking for Audrii. Sheriff Lyons was not able to be here this afternoon, but I want to reiterate he is actively engaged in marshaling the resources that are needed to bring Audrii home. He did ask me to thank all of the volunteers who have been so helpful during this, all the businesses that have been just nothing but exceptional. The dive teams, you know it's cold out here, all the investigators, the Texas Rangers, the FBI, also the FBI as victim specialists who have been with the family. Also want to thank the District Attorney's Office and EquiSearch as well, who is out here. I can say last night that investigators searched several locations throughout the area looking for Audrii. Unfortunately, they did not find her. That's the reason why the search continues this morning. This investigation is very fluid. However, I can say that we ended up identifying a backpack yesterday at the dam that is consistent with that belonging to a child. And so we are going through those contents right now to evaluate what's in that. And although I mentioned yesterday, we have persons of interest. Today, I want to announce that we have one main person that we are looking at right now as a person of interest, and that is Don Stephen McDougal, 42 of Livingston. He was arrested yesterday for an unrelated aggravated assault charge. In furtherance of this investigation, we're asking for the public to call the Polk County Sheriff's Office or use our iWatch Texas app to report seeing the 2003 Chevrolet Suburban that we put out on X this morning. That is McDougal's vehicle. So anyone that saw that vehicle on Thursday or Friday, we're asking that you call the Polk County Sheriff's Office, use the iWatch Texas app, and report what you saw to investigators. I also want to announce that we are very thankful for the Polk County Crime Stoppers for offering a $7,000 reward for tips leading to the arrest and prosecution of the person responsible for Audrii's disappearance. And these tips can be anonymous. I also want to say that we are hopeful that we can bring Audrii home alive, and that's what we are absolutely working for right now. But based on the evidence that we've got, we understand that foul play is a factor as well. So with that, I open it up for questions.
Lieutenant, why was McDougal taken to the 59th bridge of the Trinity River?
That's part of the ongoing investigation right now. Our investigators remain absolutely committed to finding Audrii, and so I don't want to get into those investigative efforts, but they're absolutely ongoing.
Do you know if the backpack was found in the water or on land?
I'm not sure where it was found. Our investigators are looking through that now, but we do know it was right down there in the dam and it was wet.
You mentioned that you all found it near the dam. About the area by the marina, how closely related is that to the search site over by the Trinity River?
So where we did the press conference yesterday, the bag was found down there by the river there.
Any additional evidence found along the Trinity River 59 that you might be able to mention?
We're not giving out additional information on that right now. Again, we are looking at this as a criminal investigation as well. And so we have to protect the integrity of that. And again, I want to reiterate, our sincere hope is that we bring Audrii home. So anyone who has information, who has seen that vehicle, the 2003 Chevrolet Suburban, please call investigators and give us your information.
Is McDougal cooperating with you all?
I would say that there are times, but I don't want to get farther into that right now. Our investigators have done a great job in doing what they do best, which is uncovering the facts that leading them to draw conclusions, and that's exactly what they're doing right now.
Do you all have control of that vehicle right now, or is it still out in the wind?
No, we have control of it.
Is McDougal still in custody?
Yes. Yeah. He was arrested last night on the unrelated aggravated assault charge.
And on a more, I guess, personal level, the scale of something like this has to be a tough one for law enforcement, for the community. Talk a little bit about how you all are holding up and how you guys are using this loss to kind of push you forward in this work.
You know, I think that brings up a great point. Everybody is committed. They realize that Audrii was loved by so many folks, and that is the driving force for us to get answers to bring her home. But it certainly resonates through the law enforcement community. Many of us have kids on how this can happen. And so we are working exceptionally hard. Investigators from many agencies that are out here and nonprofits that are out here to bring Audrii home.
Can you shed any light on the timeline between the time that the father was notified that she was not in school and the report was actually made that she was missing?
We can say about 5:30 on Thursday is when she was reported missing. I don't want to get any further details than that. I want to protect this investigation so that our investigators can do what they do best.
Does it still hold true that she never made it to school or got on the bus?
Right. Yeah. She did not make it to school. That was the reason why the father, the family became very concerned when she did not get off the bus.
Sir, it's gonna start getting darker in a few more hours. Until what time are you guys gonna be actively searching for Audrii?
We were actively searching throughout the night last night, and so I would surmise that if the evidence is driving us that far, the investigators that we've got are dogged. They are absolutely committed to finding Audrii, and so if there's a reason to be out here at night, that's exactly what they're going to be doing.
Were there any other items other than the backpack found?
There were other items that were found, but we're not getting into what those items were. That's all part of the investigative effort that we've got ongoing right now. All right, with that.
You mentioned, your investigation is leading to a possible foul play. Can you expand on that a little bit?
I don't want to get any farther than that. That's certainly, we're looking at all factors. And so our primary focus and hope is that we bring Audrii safely home, but we also realize that foul play may be a factor. So we're just considering that in light of the Crime Stoppers reward. So that's where we're at right now. But I want to thank everybody for being here. We will continue to provide updates on X. If more information becomes available, we'll certainly hold another press conference to keep the public and y'all informed. Again, thank you for being here.
Begin with breaking new developments in the case of a missing 11-year-old girl in Livingston. Authorities announcing they now have a person of interest in custody, but are still hoping to find Audrii Cunningham alive. Don McDougal has been arrested on an unrelated charge. Investigators want to hear from anyone who has seen him or his vehicle, this 2003 Chevy Suburban, over the past couple of days. Let's get right to Devon Roming live in Livingston, where the search for Audrii continues at this hour. Devon.
Well, Marcelino, there are several investigators from multiple agencies on site here behind me searching the water and surrounding area near the Lake Livingston Dam for 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham. Now, investigators with the Department of Public Safety say they're currently going through a child's backpack, which was found here yesterday at the dam. And today they announced they have a person of interest in custody. 42-year-old Don Stephen McDougal. Investigators posted a picture of this 2003 Chevy Suburban, which they say belongs to McDougal, and they're asking for the public's help to track its route over the last few days.
He was arrested yesterday for an unrelated aggravated assault charge. In furtherance of this investigation, we're asking for the public to call the Polk County Sheriff's Office or use our iWatch Texas app to report seeing the 2003 Chevrolet Suburban that we put out on X this morning.
Again, here's another look at that Chevy Suburban. If you've seen it anywhere in this area between Thursday and today, you're asked to call police. Audrii hasn't been seen since Thursday morning. Her family reported her missing after she didn't get off her school bus Thursday afternoon. It was later learned that she never got on the bus in the morning. Now, the Polk County Crime Stoppers is offering a $7,000 reward for any information that could lead to where Audrii is and her safe return home, as well as an arrest and conviction in Audrii's disappearance. For now, live in Livingston, Devon Roming, KHOU 11 News.
The search for an 11-year-old girl who hasn't been seen in 4 days will continue. Audrii Cunningham never got on her school bus Thursday morning. Today, Air 11 was over Trinity River in Polk County, where search crews have been sending boats under the Highway 59 bridge. The staging area for the search is a boat ramp near the Lake Livingston Dam. That's about 5 miles from Audrii's home. Devon Roming has been in Polk County all weekend and joins us live with the latest. Devon.
Well, Marcelino, the disappearance of 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham is weighing heavily on both her family and community as they all hold on to hope for her safe return home. As search and rescue crews part ways along the Trinity River, many in Polk County are coming together in prayer for 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham.
I mean, we've got to have faith in the good Lord, and the more we pray, the more He hears.
Ray Epps and his team at the VFW Post in Polk County holding a private prayer vigil Sunday, providing space for family and the community to heal and reflect.
She used to come in with her uncle and help him out on dance nights, and she's just full of life.
Audrii's uncle, Chris Booth, says since her disappearance on Thursday,
we want Audrii home.
Part of the healing process involves addressing rumors and speculation around town, which he says isn't helping the overall mission.
I realize that everybody's talking a bunch of stuff on Facebook and stuff like that. I'm going to ask that if you don't know anything, don't say anything. All you're doing is hurting the family.
A family who's finding comfort in knowing a person of interest is now in custody. On Friday, cell phone video captured the moment investigators were seen questioning this man, 42-year-old Don Stephen McDougal. He was arrested Friday on an unrelated aggravated assault charge. McDougal has a lengthy criminal history, including a 2007 conviction of enticing a minor with intent.
I do know Audrii is loved. I know Audrii is cared for. And I know Audrii loved her grandmother, her father, her brother, and family.
Investigators say a child's wet backpack was found near the Lake Livingston Dam Friday, roughly 5 miles from Audrii's home.
This is something that hit all our hearts because we knew the girl, we know some of her family, and it just devastates us to see and hear something like this has happened.
Now, search efforts will resume here along the Trinity River first thing tomorrow morning. In the meantime, the Polk County Crime Stoppers are offering a $7,000 reward for any information that leads to an arrest and conviction. In Polk County, Devon Rahming, KHOU 11 News.
So many people hoping for answers soon. Devon, thank you for that report. Again, if you know anything about Audrii's disappearance or saw Don McDougal's Chevy Suburban last Thursday or Friday, you're asked to call the Polk County Sheriff's Office or Crime Stoppers. You can stay anonymous. Tips leading to an arrest and conviction are eligible for a $7,000 reward.
First this evening, the search for Audrii Cunningham, a missing 11-year-old Polk County girl.
Air 11 over the scene where investigators continue to launch boats around Lake Livingston.
There is one person of interest in the case, and investigators do have him in custody, but he's not facing any charges connected to the 11-year-old's disappearance. For now, the search centers around Lake Livingston near Audrii's home. Investigators have asked the public for any video showing FM 3126 Thursday morning. They're also asking folks to avoid scenic Loop 3277 as they continue to investigate.
And late this afternoon, the Polk County Sheriff saying Don Stephen McDougal has not exactly been helpful providing information.
Stephen Goin is on the scene with a closer look at what investigators need from the public. Stephen.
Mia, as you said, officials are looking for that video that could show where Don Stephen McDougal was and what he was doing the morning that Audrii went missing, because as we are learning tonight, he was likely the last person to see her on that day last Thursday. A few hours ago, the Polk County Sheriff confirmed to us that McDougal was a friend of Audrii's father, and he lived in a camper behind the house where Audrii lived with family. Sometimes he would take Audrii to the bus stop or even drive her to school if she missed the bus. That's according to the sheriff. Today, the sheriff said McDougal has admitted to leaving the house with Audrii the day she went missing. However, he has not acknowledged whether or not he dropped her off at the bus stop. Now we're told that McDougal is cooperating on occasion, and he has taken investigators to at least one location of interest. Still today, the sheriff saying he is not jumping to conclusions.
It does us no good to prematurely charge him now, and then 3-4 months from now it get tossed out of court because we were moving too fast. So I ask you, please understand as we work carefully through this, because Audrii deserves this. She deserves us taking our time. She deserves us making sure that we do it right.
Now, this is what investigators need help with at this time. Texas DPS is asking the public to turn over any video they have along FM 3126 from the morning of February 15th from 6:30 to 8 a.m. That's a new area of interest we're just learning about today. We're told McDougal may have been along that stretch of road the morning Audrii went missing. Now today, the Polk County Sheriff also confirming information about a backpack that was found near the Lake Livingston Dam last week. He says officials do believe that is Audrey's backpack. However, when asked, the sheriff said he is hoping and praying that Audrey is still alive. Anyone with new tips or information is encouraged to call the Polk County Sheriff's Office. For now, in Livingston, Stephen Goen, KHOU 11 News.
And online right now, the total number of Amber Alerts issued across Texas so far this year, there have been 11 issued by the Texas Department of Public Safety. Now, this includes the Amber Alert still active for Audrey. She's one of 2 children missing in our area. The other child is 1-year-old Noah Johnson. He was last seen with his mother on February 6th north of the Clear Lake area and is in need of medical care. Now, Texas has issued more Amber Alerts than any other state in the past 11 years. That's per federal reports. Last year, Texas issued 44 Amber Alerts, the most ever in any state. We have more about what meets the criteria for an alert and the creation of a new system that allows law enforcement to bypass those rules.
7-year-old Audrii Cunningham will resume in the morning. She's been missing since she left her home in Livingston to go to school last Thursday morning.
A reward for information on her whereabouts is now up to $10,000. Tonight, there are several new developments in the investigation. Authorities have identified the Scenic Loop 3277 as a point of interest. They are urging the public to stay away from this area.
They're also asking the public for any video showing FM 3126. Specifically, they want to see video of the road from last Thursday between 6:30 to 8:30 in the morning.
Authorities also say Don Stephen McDougal, the main person of interest taken into custody on Friday, is a friend of Audrey's family and is believed to be the last person to have seen her before she disappeared.
Matt Doherty live in Livingston tonight, where everyone is holding on to hope that Audrey will be found and found alive. Matt?
Yeah, tonight authorities say the public is helping, sharing their videos, allowing them to piece together a timeline of Audrey's disappearance. Just before you cross over the Trinity River on Highway 59 into Polk County, you see them. Law enforcement officers from local, state, and federal agencies still searching for any sign of 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham along the banks of the river and in the water. There's still been no sign of the girl. Tonight, we're learning more about the suspect, Don Stephen McDougal.
McDougal resides in a camper behind the residence where Audrey lives with her father, grandparents, and other family. The family does have a relationship with McDougal.
This is video from Air 11 above the home where Audrey and her family live. Today, authorities say McDougal, who is still in custody after he was arrested on Friday for an unrelated crime, would sometimes take Audrey to the bus stop. Other times, they say, he'd drive her to school. But Audrey never made it onto the school bus last Thursday morning. Although he's a person of interest, McDougal still hasn't been charged with any crimes related to her disappearance.
McDougal has not confessed. He has been talking with some of the investigators, but at this point in time, he has not confessed.
Investigators believe the backpack they found on Friday near the Trinity River Dam belongs to Audrey. Another place we saw them searching is here at this small park near the lake.
On one occasion where we have taken McDougal, that he agreed to work with us and has taken us to certain locations.
But it's unclear what he's telling authorities or the significance of the locations they're visiting. What we do know is that the search area is vast. What we still don't know is where Audrey is tonight. And the search is expected to resume tomorrow morning. Back to you.
For the latest on the story, Matt, Audrii Cunningham's disappearance is getting nationwide attention. Stay connected to KHOU.com and the KHOU 11 app for the very latest developments.
But at this time, I sadly announce that Audrey's body was located at the Trinity River on the U.S. Highway 59. As a result of today's developments, I will discontinue the Amber Alert for Audrey, and I want to thank DPS, Department of Public Safety, for all their help in this alert. The information that we have gathered in this criminal investigation is substantial. The Polk County Sheriff's Office investigators, the Livingston Police Department, and the Texas Rangers, the game wardens, the FBI, Harris County Sheriff's Office, the San Jacinto County Sheriff's Office, the District Attorney's Office, in Trinity County and Liberty County. It's just an outpouring of love from all of our law enforcement partners. My heart aches with this news, and I express with my deepest sympathies and condolences to everyone who knew, who cared for, and loved Audrii. The Sheriff's Office, we will continue to process the evidence that has been gathered to ensure that the justice for Audrii. And at this time, I will turn the podium over to the Polk County District Attorney, Ms. Shelley Sinton.
Thank you, Byron. My name is Shelley Sinton, and I am your Polk County District Attorney. I just want to take a few moments to explain how we're going to move forward from here. Based on all of the evidence that law enforcement has collected, they are in the process of preparing the appropriate arrest warrants for Don Stephen McDougal. At this time, we believe the appropriate arrest warrant is going to be for capital murder in the death of Audrii Cunningham. He is currently still in jail under an unrelated felony charge here. I understand that this is a very difficult time for Audrii's family and for our community. The substantial law enforcement resources that were marshaled by the Sheriff Lyons, I think, should show you that this county and law enforcement, they will come out when they need to protect our children. And the assets that we have been made available to Polk County to protect our children have been substantial. And at this point, as Sheriff Lyons said, he'll continue to collect the evidence and process that. The District Attorney's Office is going to stand right beside them and follow through, and we promise that you can assure that the District Attorney's Office will be just as dedicated to this case as every one of these law enforcement officers that are standing behind you to do what is right for Audrii and bring justice to our community. Thank you. At this time, if you've got some questions, we'll open it up to a few questions.
Any indication of how Audrii was killed?
I cannot speak to that.
At this time right now, we have transported Audrii down to the Harris County Medical Examiner's Office. At that time, we will await their results to be able to determine the cause and method of her death.
But evidence suggests murder.
We believe that there is enough evidence, yes.
Yes.
Did Don Stephen McDougal lead you to that location on the river where you found her body? Did he tell you where to find her?
That was evidence that we was collecting through the cell phone analysis, as well as through our videos that we were able to collect, and some of the information that we received from him, we were able to pinpoint and set. There were several points of interest that was turned over to us, so that we were able to develop, and thank goodness and by the grace of God, one of those places of interest we were able to locate.
As I understand it.
What evidence links McDougal to the murder?
Evidence and right now, folks, when we start talking about how we linking evidence to McDougal and linking evidence to this case, we want to be very careful on how we do that. I will feel safe to say this is that there is substantial evidence through the evidence that we've gathered, and some of that evidence was even gathered by the wonderful witnesses and wonderful folks out there in the social media who sent us videos, who sent us pictures. Some of that, even that evidence helped us to be able to come up with these locations, as well as the evidence from cell phones and as videos to pinpoint these locations.
Can you tell us the condition of the 11-year-old's body and if she was dressed?
At this point right now, until we get all our information back from the medical examiner's office, we don't want to release any information concerning Audrii and condition of her body.
Sheriff, what directed you to that portion of I-59 in the Trinity River? What directed you to that area of I-59 in the Trinity River?
That area is one of the first areas of our concern points of interest when we started our search on Friday, midday Friday, and again, that's going to be developed from some of the evidence, and then yes, there was some points where he did give information, because there were several places that he said that he had went, So it wasn't a location where he said he took her, but there was a incidents where he said these were locations where he had gone.
Without this evidence that you talk about, would you have been able to find her where you found her? Without the evidence that you just described?
Yes.
You would have found her there?
We would have found her not through him, but we would have found it through the evidence that we collected from the analysis from phones and videos would have, yes.
Was she visible to the naked eye?
You used a sonar. You used a sonar boat. Texas EquuSearch was out with their sonar boat, scanning the bottom of the river for her body. They're the ones that discovered the body. Is that correct?
No.
The image.
I'm not going to say who exactly or what agency discovered her body today. I will say this, that due to the lowering, we were able to contact TRA, Trinity River Authority. They slowed down the outflow from the reservoir, and it allowed the water to go down, and her body was discovered there in the water. But I'm not going to say whether it was Harris County or Montgomery County or EquuSearch. It was a conglomeration of a lot of love and law enforcement networking together that helped discover her.
Sources have told us, though, that Stephen McDougal was the one that told you to lower the level of the river. We've been told that he actually told you to lower the water on the river. Is that true?
We talked to TRA on several occasions about lowering it. When they got to the point, or they felt they were safe to start lowering the river, we were able to get them to do so. Whether or not Mr. McDougal gave us information on lowering the river or not to be able to locate her, that's information that we do not want to release at this time.
We have time for one more question. One more question.
Is there any evidence that
That location, McDougal told you guys that was one of the locations where
He did advise that was one of the locations that he had gone. Not that it was saying that she was there or any other location, but we know that he went there as well.
Shelley, Sheriff, in there some discrepancy, will you be seeking the death penalty?
Until we get all of the evidence and all the autopsy reports, we're going to have to hold and work with law enforcement to determine what is the best solution to this case. If the evidence supports that, that is something that we're going to look into.
Is there any evidence she was held somewhere else, or was she killed pretty much the day that she disappeared?
We do not have any evidence at this time that's showing that where she may have been held somewhere else. But again, we are still processing mounds and mounds of information and data. Mr. Bob, last question.
Is there any evidence that there was anything used to keep the body underwater?
That is information at this time that we do not want to release.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you all for your questions. Thank you all for all that you've done for us to help bringing Audrey home.
Heartbreaking information there from the Sheriff of Polk County. Audrii Cunningham's body has been found. He's saying that his heart aches along with everybody in that community, all of us, giving his condolences to the family. Body found at the Trinity River at Highway 59, and the sheriff saying that they're working to get justice for Audrey.
And in the wake of this news, the Polk County DA saying warrants have been issued for Don Stephen McDougal. He will be charged with capital murder in Audrey's death. He was a person of interest very early on in this case. He does have a criminal history, and in fact, he is in jail right now on an unrelated felony charge.
Such a tragic story. We'll have more after this.
A heartbreaking end to the 6-day search for an 11-year-old girl. Now, investigators say they will charge this man, who admits he was the last to see Audrii Cunningham, with murder.
Law enforcement confirming within the last hour they have recovered the body of Audrii Cunningham. The Harris County Medical Examiner's Office now working to find out how that 11-year-old died.
The District Attorney's Office in Polk County is also working right now to charge Don Stephen McDougal with capital murder. He's already in custody at the Polk County Jail on an unrelated charge. We have team coverage with Jason Miles and Maria Aguilera on this tragic ending. Jason, friends and family of Audrey were there to hear the sheriff make today's announcement.
That's right, Lynn. And you know, many in this community held out hope that Audrii Cunningham might be found alive, knowing with each passing day the odds of that happening certainly diminished. And again, just within the last hour, Polk County Sheriff Byron Lions, DPS, and others delivering the sad news that the 11-year-old girl reported missing last Thursday was indeed found dead today. We got video along the Trinity River at US 59, including the area where we're told Cunningham was pulled from the Trinity River, downriver from the dam, where what is believed to have been her backpack was found last Friday. That's the same day family friend Don Stephen McDougal was arrested on an unrelated charge. Cell phone data and surveillance video among the things that led to this outcome, according to investigators. Take a listen again to how the sheriff began the news conference today, and then reaction from a friend of Audrey's mother, Cassie Matthews.
At this time, I sadly announce that Audrey's body was located at the Trinity River on the US Highway 59. As a result of today's developments, I will discontinue the Amber Alert for Audrey.
There's nothing else we can do. They did a great job. They brought her home. Cassie can get closure that she needs, and the rest of the family as well.
Cassie.
Honor of Audrey. Meanwhile, the Polk County District Attorney telling us she plans to pursue capital murder charges, and right now evidence is still being processed, and of course the autopsy is pending. You mentioned that is being done down in Houston at the Harris County Institute of Forensic Sciences. Investigators could not tell us how Audrey may have been killed, but certainly all evidence suggests foul play, and that person of interest for days, now the prime suspect. Reporting live from Livingston, Jason Miles, KHOU 11 News.
All right, Jason, thank you. We know the suspect charged has a lengthy criminal history.
Maria Aguilera picking up our team coverage from where Audrey's body was found. Maria.
Yeah, this is the area where Polk County officials tell us Audrii Cunningham's body was found, and we are told that the Trinity River Authority actually lowered the water levels to help with that search. Now, as you can see here behind me, that search has come to an end, and this is one of the places where officials tell us 42-year-old Don Stephen McDougal had gone to. Now, right now, the Polk County DA's office is preparing an arrest warrant for McDougal to charge him with capital murder for the death of Audrii Cunningham. Investigators say he was likely the last person to see her. Now, we're told he lives in a camper behind the home where Audrey lived with her father and other family. And McDougal admitted to leaving the house with Audrey Thursday morning, and she never made it to school. Officials tell us McDougal worked with investigators and took them to several locations, yet did not confess to anything. Right now, as we mentioned, he is in jail. He was booked Friday on an unrelated charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Records show McDougal has a criminal history dating back to 2001, and back in 2007, he was convicted of enticing a minor with intent. That was in Brazoria County. And according to records out of Liberty and Harris County, McDougal has 3 assault cases. And today, officials say they have substantial evidence to connect McDougal to Audrey's death.
At this time, we believe the appropriate arrest warrant is going to be for capital murder in the death of Audrii Cunningham. He is currently still in jail under an unrelated felony charge here. I understand that this is a very difficult time for Audrey's family and for our community.
Certainly a tragic ending to this search. Of course, we will have more on this tragic case tonight at 10. Live along the Trinity River, Maria Aguilera, KHOU 11 News.